Oh, man.
Yes, we're gonna say Counter Strike.
Why not?
But when Team Fortress 2 came out, they completely redid everything. It was no longer mod; it was a game on its own, and basically it's a class-based shooter. And by that I mean there's like you can be a medic, you can be a soldier, you can be a heavy,
You can be a spy,
sniper, pyro, demolition man, and scout.
It's awesome.
Yeah, check out the commercials for it because the trailers
the
for it,
trailers,
which
Meet the
are
Spy and Meet the Soldier, are awesome.
Yeah, really really funny. And it's had a lot of, Team Fortress 2 has had a very significant, I don't know if it's a mod or an expansion called Man vs. Machine, which is a cooperative horde style gameplay mode, which came out a couple of years ago, I believe. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty good. Very, very, very popular game. It's still one of the most popular shooters today, and it came out in 2004.
Yeah,
sorry, 2006. 2006.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, regardless, very good game.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. I love Team Fortress 2. And the thing I like about Team Fortress 2, and I wish more games did this, I'm getting tired of what Call of Duty is doing with this, and no, this is not a Call of Duty show, but this relates, with the same art style every time. All right, the Treyarch color palette, which is like black and gray,
brown.
And brown, yeah, is getting old. But these games, one of my favorite games to come out last year was Dishonored. I love the game. On my second playthrough, it's just staggeringly awesome because it has that really eccentric new sort of oil painting art style.
Yeah.
And Team Fortress 2 also has an eccentric art style. And I wish more companies did that. It's not graphics don't necessarily have to be about accuracy. They can also be about aesthetics.
I'm going to go a little bit off tangent, but it's going to relate. During the Italian Renaissance, painting, when you have painters like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo and all and Donatello and Raphael and all the Ninja Turtles, painting was so good that people literally gave up. They were like, well, we can't paint better than this. And they were right. People really at the time couldn't paint better than Leonardo da Vinci or Michelangelo.
Yeah.
To be fair. And so I forget what the name of the style is, but a new style came out where they're like, well, we're going to paint and we're going to make our paintings stylized because we can't paint as well as Leonardo da Vinci can, but our painting is going to be stylized, and that's going to represent something. And so that's why I feel a lot of games do now, like Borderlands, like
great example.
Which is so they can't. So not all games can be like Crysis, which at the time had the best graphics ever. So a lot of games choose to be stylized and have a cool artistic art style to them. Most indie games are very like have a really cool art style, I find.
Also, I'm pretty sure back in the day you had to go to MIT to run Crysis.
Yeah,
and that thing was impossible.
You had to have a computer made by the dwarves from Lord of the Rings, and it looked like one of the monoliths from 2001.
It was insanely difficult to run, and Crysis 2 wasn't actually a cakewalk to run either on a PC. But the eccentric art style is where people should be looking to go. And you brought up Borderlands. Borderlands is a great example. That's a company that knows what they're doing, 2K, and we're going to do a show on them just to talk about how great they are with release dates and stuff. I'm looking forward to getting my studying done tonight just so I can play Borderlands. That's my big thing on my agenda tonight. And you know what? Borderlands is not exactly a new game, and I still love it. So that speaks strongly, and I think that Half-Life, or not Half-Life games, well, yes, Half-Life games, but games in general made by Valve, have an incredible longevity.
I mean, people are still playing. Normally, for console games, unless they're really, really popular, nobody plays one of their games. For example, if you release a game, nobody's really going to play your game after a year or so if people get bored with it.
Yeah.
But people are still playing Left 4 Dead. People are still playing Portal. People are still playing Portal 2. I know I am.
Yeah.
Great games. So that just speaks, as you say.
People are still playing Counter-Strike.
People are still, yeah.
which is just staggering.
I don't know why.
This is one of the core differences in philosophy between a game like Valve, who makes games to last, and a game company like everyone else who doesn't. I mean, that's the biggest problem I think I have with, and this is not just an opportunity for me to bash Always Online, though I'm going to use it as such. That's my biggest problem with Always Online, is that eventually they're going to stop running the servers for single-player games, and you're not going to be able to play a single-player game anymore.
Yeah.
That really bothers me. I don't have a problem with the internet aspect of it so much, having to always be on the internet. I have the problem of someone saying, 4 years down the road after me playing a single-player game, sorry, we've shut down the servers, you can't play this game anymore. It's a single-player game. I should always be able to play it.
Yeah, exactly. I want to also talk about Portal.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so Portal, originally they packaged in with the orange box, which again had Team Fortress 2 and the two Half-Life and the 2 episodes of Half-Life 2, what it was they used Portal 2 to it arose from they were testing out the physics engines of Half-Life 2 Episode 2, and they said, this is kind of cool. And they made a couple of puzzles just to test things out, and then they made a little game. It wasn't very long, but everyone fell in love with it. It was, it was hard. I don't know. I almost like to say it was the cult classic of that box, but so many people loved it. It was such a well received game. Mm-hmm. So they made a sequel out of it in 2011 called Portal 2, and which was, in my opinion, a little bit better. But I know a lot of people disagree.
In many ways, it was a little bit better.
Yeah, I think it had a more expansive story, but it didn't seem to focus on puzzles as much as the first one. But but it had a co-op multiplayer, which was nice.
Which was amazing. One of the best co-ops I've ever played, and I've played a few co-ops, and just superbly done. And there was no issues with the co-op. Not like when you play, like, sometimes, I don't know if you notice this, if you play Call of Duty split screen and one of you has a heartbeat sensor, you don't have a heartbeat sensor.
No.
You have half a heartbeat sensor.
Because the way that the screen is displayed, you can't, like, half your screen is cut off and you're looking, and so, like, you can have, like a 50-inch television screen. That's not going to matter. You're still not going to be able to see everything on your screen.
Exactly, which is a real problem. But I didn't find any real problems with Portal 2.
No.
I mean, obviously, it's going to be smaller, but that's to be expected. That's why, of course, people play Resistance split screen. Everybody thought the bullseye was a pistol.
Yeah.
This is actually a submachine gun. Because it looks so small. But no, you're right. Portal 2 was fantastic, and I would definitely say better than Portal 1. And they didn't do what sequels so often do. They found the middle ground between changing too much and just changing enough, which is nice.
Yahtzee, I'm sorry for bringing him up again. He says that and I agree with him, that a sequel, a perfect sequel, uses the original game as a jumping off point. It doesn't. A bad sequel either goes too far and takes a running leap and flies off into the sky 50,000 miles away, and a bad sequel also tries to be exactly like the first game. But Portal 2 used Portal 1 as a jumping off point. It had a more expansive story. It was very very good comedy. It had two very comedic characters to play off of.
Yeah.
And it introduced a whole bunch of new tools, like the gels. There was a speed gel and a bounce gel, and gravity tunnels and things like that. It was really, really cool stuff that they did with that game. So it was a perfect jumping off game.
Exactly, and I think that's really what the game developers should strive for in making sequels. The biggest problem with Call of Duty, and yes, I'm going to bring up Call of Duty bashing again because why not? Is that because they're great to compare to Valve, right?
Yeah.
Or all the. Oh, it's not just, a lot of people like to say it's Infinity Ward, it's Treyarch. Yeah, wrong again, Bob. It's both of them. They both do the same thing every time. They just vaguely renovate it. And that's where Valve succeeds where they fail. That's where all the 2K games I've ever played succeed where they fail.
That's where BioShock succeeds where they fail.
BioShock, Resistance. BioWare even. Especially BioWare. Yeah. Especially from Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2. 2 to 3 was less of a difference, but 1 to 2 was huge.
Yeah, and we'll talk. And we're definitely going to have a Mass Effect show.
Yeah, because 2 was actually... It had that extra added feature where they added in playability.
It's also my favorite game ever of all time.
2? Mass Effect 2?
Yes.
I think that's a great choice, actually.
But Valve has definitely been a game that has been a company that successfully churned out good sequels. Left 4 Dead 2 I liked it a little bit better than Left 4 Dead 1 just because it had it just added some more stuff. Portal 2 I liked a little bit better than Portal 1. I have not played. Half-Life is one of those games I haven't really played, but I have heard that Half-Life 2 was a worthy successor to Half-Life 1, which is amazing when you consider it's a worthy successor to widely considered the greatest game ever.
I loved Half-Life 2, honestly. Yeah. I really, really, really did.
Yeah.
All the episodes of Half-Life 2 are cool, to my mind.
Yeah.
Which is great, because every time... When's the last time you played a bad Valve game? Because I've never played one.
I don't think there is any. The only one I would count is Counter-Strike because I can't play because people are so good.
Right? Yeah.
I join in and I get killed 30 times within 30 seconds, and I throw my controller down or I throw the mouse down in disgust.
It happens. Yeah. But yeah, I think Valve is one of those companies that just, to me, has had a 100% success record in making games in general. Now, I want to take the last 10 minutes of the show to sort of discuss with our viewers. We are